what did you all hope to present to fans with this album?
I mean, there's no kid. I think that the whole thing was, we wanted to stick to the foundation as far as, the harmonies, the melodies, songs about, relationships. We wanted to showcase the fact that, we've grown as singers and, also to show people that, being a little bit more grown and mature now, we realize that, love isn't just about, "Oh, baby, I love you." Like some days it's not good. Some days, you might be upset. But when it all comes down to it, if you do love each other and everybody's in it to win it, then no matter what it is, you work it out.
Right. So, is it safe to say, Jazz and Noak, I believe you guys did Love MD, right?
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that was the vision behind that record, the single Love MD?
Absolutely, yeah.
Great. Now, it's obvious, it's always been obvious from the beginning that Dru Hill is a singing group first. Like, y'all can just sing, period. But some people feel like with this new record, you've kind of gone away from that a little bit with some of the effects that are on the vocals. What was the pressure like, or how did you feel, or did you feel any pressure to kind of accommodate this new sound of effects and maybe some auto-tune on some things? And what is your response to people who feel like this album is not the Dru Hill that they are used to?
Well, the thing about it is, the funny thing is, some of the songs where people, feel like it's, I hear auto-tune, it's not really auto-tune. And, I know that's hard to explain to somebody that, doesn't, I guess, understand the technical part of what's going on.
Right.
We used, vocoder and talkbox on some of the songs,
Right.
vis-a-vis, like Teddy Riley and Roger and stuff like that. And, we used a little bit of auto-tune on a couple songs, but, especially in the harmony stuff, a lot of that is just, how can I say this without sounding ignorant? Niggas ain't able to sing.
Right. No, that's true.
Especially with, Teo joining the group and having that, that high pitch,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, I don't know if it's because people are so used to people having to use that to make their voices sound right, that when they hear somebody singing and it's right, it's like, oh, they gotta have auto-tune on their voice.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's really not what people are making it out to be.
Right.
For real. Not to mention that, a lot of times, when we performing live, and we'll be really singing, and you see some of the older folks that's in the audience, and they kind of looking at us like, they ain't singing that. And so sometimes we just gotta stop the music, and I look them right in the face, and we will hit it live, and then it's like a collective, wow, they was really singing that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what no feels saying. So sometimes you might think it's real. Go ahead, look. Now I'm gonna say, like I said, we used it on some stuff, but not for anything other than what it's made for.
Right. And I'll go on. You don't have to really explain that because I too am a singer-songwriter. So I understand that, and I'll make sure that I kind of, explain. People think auto-tune is so much for an effect, and I'll go into that a little bit on the post so that they kind of have an understanding. But I have gotten some mixed reviews from it. A lot of people love it that I know. And then you got a couple of people who feel like, this isn't the Dru Hill that we know. And, of course, people have to understand growth, right?
Niggas want my own shit by my own out. But the thing about it is that it's kind of like from the beginning of our careers, it's always
Right.
Some people that, have loved what we've done from the beginning, and some people who have never liked us.
Right.
There's some people who, like when Scola came in the group, there's some people that didn't like it. There's some people who like when we, broke it down to 3 members. There's some people that didn't. So, I mean, it's kind of like, all we can do for real is keep pressing forward.
Right.
And, get out there and do what we do. And, the one thing that I feel like nobody can take away from us at the end of the day is, like Cisco said, when the lights on that stage and that music go out and it ain't nothing but us and the microphone.
Amen.
We gonna do what's on the record.
Amen. I know that for a fact. From my own experiences with y'all live. So I just wanted to bring that up because I knew y'all were going to have some stuff to say. And I think that the fans who have actually been there from the beginning and have heard the progression on every album can understand where this album is right now. And I think maybe some people who kind of maybe fell off somewhere in between there and they going from like the first Dru album to this album, you know what I mean? They probably weren't able to grow with y'all and kind of hear the progression in y'all in your music. So maybe that's what it is. Either way, like you said, if they want the old Dru, there's plenty of albums for them. I got probably 6 copies of each they can have.
And that's the stuff, and like you said, like it's always a growth. I mean, if you listen on every album, it's like, whoever's in the group, like, well, let's just say, like, for instance, like myself, Jazz, and Nokio, you hear us do something completely, like, we'll do some of the stuff we did on the album before that, but then we do some stuff you never heard us do on every album.
Right.
It's like something new, like a new note, new riff, or anything, and it's like, that was kind of like what I realized that, like, Boyz II Men and Jodeci would do back in the day. And, when you're really a fan, and you like, really like enjoy the music, and you listen to it with a more critical ear.
Exactly.
And, like, you really listen to it, you'll realize that, like, wow, I never even heard him hit that note before.
Yeah.
And you go back to the other album, okay, he didn't hit it on that album. Then you go before that, I see he hit it on that album. So
yeah.
Each album, like you said, is completely different than the last, because music is alive and you have to grow.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like people love, like, Michael Jackson, and, they love the Thriller album, but they also love Man in the Mirror, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Man in the Mirror wasn't on the Thriller album, it couldn't have been, it didn't fit on that,
Mm-hmm.
like, Bad, and I'm Bad, I mean, that was on a whole other album than Billie Jean.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was, like, 2 completely different sounds, but that don't mean that that it wasn't Michael. It's just, like, ABC don't sound like what he was doing when the Jacksons came out with Utility. I mean, you gotta allow music to live, and, and being a musician, like you said, or being an artist, you gotta be able to grow with music.
Right.
Because music never stays the same. It's constantly changing, constantly moving, constantly growing.
And I think that if I can just add to that, and kind of comment on Jazz, as a singer myself, I think that singers and musicians can hear the growth, I guess, more so than just the general public, because we know, like, what he just did is sick. I know Jazz hit some on Love MD. I was like, is he kidding me right now? Like, this dude is going ham on this record, and I can say that I heard some stuff, that Cisco did on this album that just kind of blew me away, because I'm a singer and I know, you know what I'm saying, what you were talking about hearing something better on this album than you heard on the last. So, absolutely.
That's what's up.
Now, well, you know what, Cisco, if you follow me on Twitter, I can probably send you some stuff. I don't really have my own music. I'm not really interested in being an artist. I've toured and, singing background, and I do write music. So, yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, maybe I can kind of send you something so you can hear it.